Welcome to the game of games. You're on, buddy.
All right. See if you can take me this time.
The little pawns. Oh, moving your knight, huh?
Coming for you.
I'll tell you, I wish there were still knights.
What do you mean?
Oh. I mean, they kept the peace. In their day, I mean, they were state-of-the-art. You know, their armor, their swords, their horses, war horses. I mean, those guys knew how to fight. And, you know, people did not give them any shit. You know, they were like top of the pack. We need knights. We need people, you know, dedicated to law and order.
I disagree. I don't think we need that level of violence in our culture anymore. I mean, in Portland, once they took the federal troops out, the protests suddenly got peaceful.
Well,
Look at that.
It got peaceful because law and order was restored, and then the peace followed.
What were they doing? They were inciting fear and violence. They were kidnapping people in the streets and shooting them with tear gas.
The anarchists?
They're protesters, Dad.
Well, there are protesters and there are anarchists. And it's important not to confuse the two groups.
They are fighting for something that we need in this country.
Well, they don't have to do it in the streets by burning up cars and businesses and looting.
Not everybody is doing that.
Of course not. But there is a way to promote change in this country, and it's called legislatively.
No.
It's called Congress passing laws.
It's
called Congress creating new amendments to the Constitution. The brilliance of our forefathers was,
brilliance.
you know, they created a mechanism for changing, supplementing the Constitution.
To whose benefit? People like us. No, not everybody.
Yes.
White people.
No, this is a meritocracy. If this is only for white people, how in the world did Barack Obama get elected president, not one term, but 2 terms, for 8 years? This African American led this country.
And he did a hell of a lot of better job than the guy running it now.
Well, let's not talk about the guy who's running it now, okay? I think he's an aberration. But I think he's trying to maintain law and order. And that is what I'm for. Law and order.
But not at the expense of people getting arrested, shot, kneeled on, killed. Like, things need to change now. We don't have time for amendments and Congress. People are not going to be able to agree in time, all right? We only have so much time to do that. We need to transform, Dad.
I don't know where you're coming from. Where you're coming from with this time urgency.
Because people are suffering. There are homeless in the streets. There are people
have always suffered. People have always been homeless. But the U.S. Constitution continues to evolve. And it does it in a very rational, measured way.
Well, it's not going to work that way anymore.
It doesn't burn down the house.
Maybe we need to burn down the house, Dad.
And then rebuild it with some plans. Whose plans would we use?
So, I was watching this show the other day, and it talked about how when a caterpillar goes into the cocoon to become a butterfly, it doesn't just grow wings in that cocoon. It dissolves. It reduces itself to nothing so that it can become something new, something beautiful. And that's where we're at. That's what this country needs to do. We need to dissolve all these racist systems and all these things that have been built for people to step on people and use them to their advantage, and make something that really is built upon this constitutional foundation. Look, this idea of freedom
I kind of get the analogy, but are you telling me that if we created the equivalent of caterpillar soup in a cocoon, that somebody would have the blueprint for creating a new constitution, a new way of governance in this country? Who would that be? A white person, a black person, a brown person,
I don't know.
an Asian person?
I don't know, Dad. But something needs to change radically.
Well, you say radically. I don't think so. I think this Constitution has stood the test of time, and it has
Not for
weathered
everybody.
many crises. And I think there is this internal mechanism for change. I keep going back to that. You know what? If you are really dedicated to making things better and more equal, then become political. Go to Congress. Be a voice of change in Congress. Use your charisma, on the floor of Congress to create new amendments, new laws.
I don't know. I think so few people know how to do that.
Well, you're smart. You could do that. I mean,
But it shouldn't be up to me, all right? So many times it's been people like me who make the rules, and then other people suffer for it. We should be giving that power and those positions of power to people of color, minorities, people that don't have a voice.
but wait a minute. You're telling me there are no minorities in Congress?
Not nearly enough, clearly.
Okay. Then work on campaigns. Get more people of color elected so that they can more fairly represent what needs to be
I don't know. I don't know if that's
codified into law.
I don't know if that'll solve the issue, but maybe that's a step in the right direction. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that change needs to happen. Big change.
Well, I think you're just resistant to my position that we have this internal mechanism for change. It's called, Congress making laws, Congress passing amendments. I don't think we need, to blow things up.
Are you boys ready for a timeout?
Yeah, I could use one.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, cheers.
Cheers.
Maybe we don't have the answers.
And maybe we do.